Today is the last Sunday before we begin the season of Lent. Alam naman natin sa Wednesday, Ash Wednesday na, no? That marks the beginning of the season of Lent. So, in many traditions, especially in the Middle Ages, ang ginagawa nila, the day before Ash Wednesday, ang tinatawag na, anong klaseng Tuesday yon? Shrove Tuesday. We will kind of celebrate that today. You know? Pero yung ibig sabihin kasi ng shrove, parang ano yun, absolution. No? Shrive is to absolve. Shrove Tuesday is like forgiven. Ito na yung kumbaga huling hirit natin. Sa ibang tradition, naging yung Shrove Tuesday naging carnival. Di ba? Sa Brazil, yung carnival nila, Shrove Tuesday yon, no? Yung salitang carnival na English word natin kasi, galing sa Latin, Spanish, na carne, meat, vale, which means babay. Okay? This is carne. Ito yung huling araw ko ng pagkain ng karne. Kasi for the next 40 days, for the whole season of Lent and Holy Week, hindi ako kakain ng karne. Sa ibang tradisyon. Sa mga Pilipino, ipako nyo na ako sa krus, kakain pa rin ako ng karne. Di ba? Hindi na. Yung iba naman, ano lang, abstinence lang every Friday, at least during Lent, no? But yung iba, the whole year, on Fridays, they don't eat meat. But that's why this tradition started. But understand kasi that Lent is like a season of austerity. Abstinence nga, no? Ano yung iniisip nga natin, ano yung pwede kong i-give up ng Lent? Kasi it's a season of contemplation. So we abstain, we fast, not for the purpose of punishing ourselves, so that we can focus on the more important things. At hindi lang yun, no? Lent and Holy Week represent the journey of Jesus toward Jerusalem, where He will experience His passion and death. So ganun yung ganun yung tema nun, no? And so today is the last Sunday of before Lent, at sa calendar year, liturgical calendar year, 2 beses nating naririnig yung istorya ng Transfiguration. There is what is called the Transfiguration Sunday, which is the one closest to August 6. Transfiguration Sunday yon. Pero the last Sunday before Lent, puro Transfiguration din ang gospel reading dyan. May dahilan dun sa pagbasa nun, the Sunday before Lent. It's to prepare us for the season of Lent and Holy Week, and through them to Easter. Okay? Tandaan natin yan, no? It's a preparation. Kasi yung Transfiguration, it like marks a zenith, a peak, yung tuktok, no? Nung ministeryo ng Panginoon natin. Kasi nung papunta dun sa time ng Transfiguration, it was all miracles and healings, right? And Jesus was praised. Jesus following continued to increase hanggang Transfiguration yan. And then it reaches its peak when the disciples, three of his disciples saw him on the Mount of Transfiguration, and they saw the glory of God shine through Jesus. Pero pagkatapos ng Transfiguration, parang nandun sila, illustrative din yan, nandun sila sa bundok, paakyat sila, pero yun doon yung tuktok, from there, it's all downhill, puro pababa na. Not just literally, but figuratively as well, because from there, it's all controversy now. Intriga na, di ba? Controversy, betrayal, And then Jesus starts losing his following. Ang dami na nagdududa sa kanya. Ang dami nang iwan sa kanya. Then ultimately, his disciples betray him, abandon him, and then he was left alone. He's arrested, he's condemned, he's crucified. Yet, the story doesn't end there. The story goes on with the Easter surprise and its victory. Galing, ano? So, while at itong istorya na to, hindi lang to seasonal sa calendar year natin, no? It teaches us that even if, or whenever we go through our own Lenten season, our own Lenten journey, people may slander us, people may betray us, people may abandon us and accuse us, and we may be offended by their betrayals and their loss of trust, and we face we carry our own cross, so to speak. We are reminded that God's joy is our strength. The joy of the Lord is our strength. So we can bear our cross. Because when we do, after we do, then we will taste the victory of the resurrection. Palaging ganun yung istorya. Kaya wag tayo, actually, I can end my homily here, no? Yun eh. Yun, ano? Na ang palagi naghihintay sa atin, yung Easter. Wag natin isipin hanggang dito na lang ako. Ang istorya ng buhay ko, puro kalbaryo. And that's it. No, it doesn't end there. Not if you have Jesus in your life. All stories, and ultimately our whole life story, will end with the Easter resurrection. Life, fullness of life, which is the will of God, which will ultimately be what will be fulfilled. Pakikalabit yung katabi ninyo, sabihin nyo, kaya ikaw, huwag kang mawalan ng pag-asa. Because I can tell you right now, yung ibang mukha, nakikita ko mukhang Biyernes Santo eh. Wala pang Lent eh, di ba? Hindi pa tayo nagli-Lent, Biyernes Santo na kagad, di ba? Sometimes we're dejected and thinking, ito na lang ba ang mangyayari sa buhay ko? And you face your battles, you face your struggles, kaya nga, we're always encouraged. Huwag naman natin i-condemn yung bawat isa, no? And judge them, because everyone is facing a battle. What we can do for them is remind them, inspire them, influence them, and remind them of the victory that awaits them at Easter. But it's just, I don't know why, but it's just the design, Lent and Holy Week always come before Easter. You don't get to the promised land without going through the wilderness. Tandaan natin yan. But the thing is, the heavier the cross that we bear, the more glorious the Easter is that we experience. Tama? So, yun yung transfiguration, that's what it represents. Yung kanta natin, our Epiphany song, God in Man Made Manifest, ang sabi ng huling verse, manifest on mountain height, shining in resplendent light, where disciples filled with awe, thy transfigured glory saw. When from there thou leddest them steadfast to Jerusalem. Cross and Easter day attest, God in man made manifest. Story of the incarnation, the Word becoming flesh, does not end with the crucifixion. It does not end with betrayal. It does not end with denial of His disciples. It ends with life. Life. After which, no more death. Ultimately, again, that's our story, right? Ito rin yung kung saan, kung sa inyo mga nagro-rosaryo, kung saan nagsishift Transfiguration is where the joyful mysteries shift to sorrowful mysteries. Di ba? But my point here is this. The sorrowful mysteries, okay, they may be sorrowful, but the glory of God is still there. And we can retain the joy of the Lord through the sorrowful mysteries of our life. Kasi ito yung tingin ko sa transfiguration. Sa tingin nyo ba, si Jesus nung transfiguration, dun lang siya nagkaroon ng glory of God? Isn't the glory of God in Jesus 24/7? Hindi ba? Ano ba yung kinanta natin kanina? Ano ba sinasabi tinatawag nating Gloria Patri? Sabay-sabay tayo. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, during good times. Yung may sinasabi nun? No, what does it say? As it was, beginning, is now, and ever shall be, and will be forever. Di ba? The glory of God always there. In Jesus Christ. Lord's Prayer. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The doxology goes, for thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, once in a while. Ano sinabi? Forever and ever. Eternally. So it's the glory of Jesus is the radiance of God, the exact representation of His nature. Hindi siya tumigil doon. In fact, before He was born, the glory of God was in Him. Sabi niya sa prayer niya, di ba? Show them the glory that I had with you from the beginning. Bago pa ako pinanganak. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. Share the glory of God. The glory of God was in Jesus Christ at His birth. At the presentation of Jesus at the temple. When He was growing up and being obedient to His parents, the glory of God was there. Glory of God was there when He began His ministry. When He was baptized, He was tempted. He performed healings and miracles. When He multiplied the loaves, when He healed the sick, when He raised the dead, the glory of God was there, seen through Him and in Him. The glory of God was there when He was transfigured. And then when He was betrayed and denied. The glory of God was there when He was crucified on the cross. The glory of God was there, very pronounced, when He forgave His enemies from the cross. That's the glory of God. The glory of God was there the whole time. When He died, when He resurrected, when He ascended. And even now, the glory of God is in Him, and He is in us. He's in us as individuals. He's in us in the church. So yung kalwalatian ng Diyos, hindi nawawala kay Jesus. That glory produces strength. That glory gives joy. And that joy, as I mentioned earlier, is our strength. Sinabi nung ang ganda nung prinay natin kanina sa collect. O God, before the passion of your only begotten Son revealed His glory upon the mountain, the holy mountain, grant to us that beholding by faith the light of His countenance, His glory, as we look at it, as we behold it, we may be strengthened to bear our cross. That's the purpose of it. Never get your focus off of Jesus and His glory. Kasi pag tumingin na tayo sa, tulad ni Peter, he was looking at Jesus, he was walking on water. Actually, naglakad sa tubig si Pedro. Naglakad siya for a while. As long as he was looking at Jesus, he was able to do that. Tapos tumingin siya sa hangin. Sino dito nakakita na ng hangin? Tingnan niyo yung ceiling fan natin. Kita niyo ba yung hangin? Galing dyan? Hindi, di ba? Nararamdaman natin, pero hindi natin nakikita. tanghaling tapat to, Si Peter, madaling araw pa, ang dilim. Lalong hindi mo makikita yung hangin, di ba? Invisible na nga, ang dilim pa. But the point is, he shifted his focus from Jesus to the circumstances. Alam niyo mangyayari pag ganun ang ginawa natin, mawawala yung joy of the Lord, mawawala yung strength natin. At ang focus na lang natin, palagi nandun sa negative. Palagi nandun sa nakaka-discourage. Di ba? Again, collect. Tandaan natin. Grant to us that we, beholding by faith the light of His countenance, may be strengthened to bear our cross. This season of Lent is meant to be didactic. Ang ibig sabihin ng didactic, isang bagay na may katuruan. Matututo tayo sa leksyon na ibibigay nito. So that we may be strengthened to bear our cross and be changed into His likeness from glory to glory. Because that's what God intends for us, to share His glory, to partake of His divine nature. Hindi nawawala yung glory na yun. Di ba? It's not on and off. You know, it's not there one time and then not there another. Hindi. Hindi nawawala yun. Ang nawawala, yung pagtingin natin. It was the disciples' sight of the glory of God that turns on and off. It's like us. Kasi minsan tumitingin tayo eh. Minsan hindi tayo tumitingin. Kaya hindi natin nakikita. The glory is always there. 24/7. It was the disciples' eyes that were momentarily opened at that time. At other times, they look elsewhere. So they don't behold the glory of God, and they're not strengthened to bear their cross. We don't see the glory of God sometimes because we walk by faith and in ignorance and in forgetfulness, right? So we walk by sight, not by faith. But if we see His glory in every situation, we will be strengthened. Pakikalabit uli yung katabi ninyo, sabi niyo, huwag mong kalimutan yan, brother, sister. So even if we go through what the Rosary calls the sorrowful mysteries, they really all are glorious mysteries. Because the glory of God never turns off. Doesn't have an off button. But if all glorious mysteries, we can be joyful in the midst of sorrow, in the midst of Lent, in the midst of carrying our cross. Sino dito ang may pinagdaanan na o may pinagdadaanang kalbaryo ngayon? Sino? Taas yung kamay. Sige, don't be. Lahat naman tayo, hindi ba? Pinapagdaanan tayong kalbaryo. Tawag ng iba dyan, biyenan. Ang tawag ng iba dyan, boyfriend o girlfriend o asawa. Di ba? Yun yung kalbaryo nila minsan eh. Minsan naman, co-worker sa ministry. Minsan, ka-opisina. Di ba? Minsan kasama sa bahay. Minsan kasambahay. You know? But we all go through, and sometimes they're not people. Sometimes they're situations. Pati yung boss natin, minsan pala, no? Ganun, no? But the thing is, they may be sometimes sorrowful. They can be overbearing. They can weigh us down. And as sabi ni Jesus, all of you who are weary, I know you're going through battles. All of you are weak. Come to me. I'll give you rest. Look at me. Walk on water. Di ba? Alam niya, may pinapagdaanan tayo lahat. Alam niya yun. Kaya yun yung mensahe ngayon ng gospel. Di ba? As we prepare ourselves for Lent. Right now may be to some a downward spiral. Downhill. Battles, hurts, pain. Remember, the joy of the Lord is your strength. Jesus, who for the joy set before Him, endured the cross. The insults. Yung insults kasi, kaya pa niya yun kasi galing sa mga kaaway yun. No? Pero yung pinakamatindi doon, yung mga close mo, di ba, yung mga disciples mo, yung inner circle mo. Yung future pope na gagawin mo na si Peter, denied you 3 times. Kasi natakot siya sa teenager na babae. Sakit nun, di ba? But who for the joy set before him endured the cross and despised the shame. He had joy while he was going through his passion and death. In fact, in John chapter 12, ito na yung Holy Week na to eh. Just before the Last Supper, sabi ni Jesus, my soul is in turmoil. It's in anguish. I'm deeply troubled. And then he said, what should I say? Lord, Father, take this away from me. Wala ba tayong plan B? Hindi ba pwedeng wag na lang ako ipako sa krus? Hindi ba pwedeng yung si Judas na lang? Deserve naman niya eh. But he said, what shall I say? Lord, palitan na lang natin yung plano? No, what he said was, Lord, glorify your name. In this situation, in what I'm going to go through, let your glory be demonstrated. That's what he said. And at the Last Supper, a few hours before his passion and death, ano yun, no? Blood-curdling yan, no? Alam niya kung ano the physical pain, and yet also, the emotional and the moral pain, kasi i-abandon na nga siya eh. But what he said during the Last Supper was, to his disciples was this, I'm telling you all these things that I've been telling you, so that my joy, remember, his soul was in turmoil. He was deeply troubled. Nakikita niya, ano mangyayari? Sakit siguro nito, no? Tapos, iiwanan ako nakapako sa krus, insultuhin ako ng lahat ng mga tao, etc., etc. He said, I'm telling you these things, I'm preparing you, so that my joy may be in you. So that your joy may be full, so that you can bear your cross and carry it through your Lenten journey. Again, with the hope that it doesn't end with Calvary, with the crucifixion, but just a few days after, with Easter. Kaya, yung ano natin, yung ganda nung, ulitin ko, no? Ganda nung kanta eh. The song ends not with Calvary, no? Song ends with cross and Easter day attest. God in man made manifest. That's the reason for the incarnation. Is so that God, like us, human, can go with us through our struggles, through our battles, through our carrying our cross, and through our Calvaries. And lead us not just there, but through it to Easter. What a hope we have. You know, that's what we partake of. That's what we are called to walk in, the victory of. Because that's the way it is in the kingdom of our God.